Hello guys, what is up? It's your boy Mega X, and today we're doing what if Deku had metal manipulation, or basically like he had every single like steel type move. Okay, so basically this is actually going to be because I'm not sure how this is going to, because I mean I have been thinking about what if he had Sashian or Zamazenta's powers, so then giving him like Behemoth Blade or Behemoth Bash seems like it would take away from the story, as you've already seen this before. I might not end up doing that because I'm not sure how I'd want it to go. But anyway, that's besides the point, so let's get into the story. So how this goes is that I can see Deku maybe being from not sure, maybe he... Right, no, I've got this. Okay, so he's gonna be like a late bloomer, but it's not a late bloomer at the age of like 4. So he's the last one to get a squad. So it's gonna be around the time where Bakugo and his cronies were like being on the other kid, and then Deku came in and then he started like defending them, and then Bakugo went to go and throw an explosion at him, but then Deku set up iron defense. Okay, so essentially he made his skin like become steel. Yeah, so he basically made his skin become steel, and he blocked the attack. So then he runs to telling his mom about this, and they go to the quirk doctor, and then it's revealed that Deku is essentially like steel. He's basically is like this gooey like metal substance that can harden in an instant. And he can also create like constructs with this and harden his body. So like yeah, and then also I also went through some of Melmetal's deck entries, because the gooey like substance is coming from Melmetal and its Gigantamax form. But then I also read through, like in its sword deck entry, it said that the Melmetal will rust and fall apart, then the small shards left will be reborn as Melton. Well, that's an interesting concept, but I don't know how that's going to be incorporated into the story. Like because of that, I'll give him regenerative properties, but he won't be like getting reborn or be like immortal or something like that. No, he would die like any other person, like of old age, obviously. So yeah, so I can see him going to school the next day and then showing off how he can like make gooey like constructs, or like make and harden them. I'm not sure if I want the kid, like everyone to school like to avoid him. Also, he can also like eat metal. Like he doesn't really like, if you've seen like Melmetal in the anime, for example, is like always eating steel. So like I don't really think that he really needs to eat human food. Of course, he will still eat things like katsu because that's his favorite food. But he probably like sneak a few hex nuts in there or something like that. So yeah. So I don't see anything really interesting happening after that. So I say that we just like skip to the sludge incident. And the sludge incident, I mean, since Deku is kind of like a gooey substance himself, I'm not sure, but one thing's for sure, that he's been training hard, learning how to utilize his powers, learning that he can regenerate and stuff. So I just don't like really see him leading to the sludge. And also, he doesn't need to go with All Might to ask if he could still be a hero, because I mean, like, yeah, I think like he'd be fine. Yeah, and would All Might drop the bottle? I'm gonna say he doesn't drop the bottle. Okay, so no one for all in this time. And if he does, which will be discussed later on in the later on, yeah, I'll figure that out. Anyways, so after that, so then, oh sorry, background noise. My mic now have to go off for a few seconds. Okay, sorry, finish now. So after that, I can see him just really like training, like just continuously training. You know, yeah, just him like doing that, just training. He also like he can sort of like turn into Yamato because like his eyes, they're not the usual green. They're like just black. They're like small, like they're just black dots. And whenever he gets knocked out, which hardly happens, they become an X, something like that. And the effects that moves have will still be happening. So wait, I also forgot to mention that for corkscrew crash, like this Z move, and then like things like searing sunray smash. I'm just gonna say that one day he finds like like how in the anime Lana found like one of them rocks that a Z-ring was containing. Yeah, I'm saying that happens for Deku, but instead of a Z-ring, it's a sigil. I don't know how to pronounce it, but like this the Z crystal for Searing Sunray Smash and the Stellium Z. Yeah, and they're embedded into like the metal, so they have so they're basically crystal, but they have like metal-like properties. So with their metal-like properties, like so Deku basically just starts eating it until it's just the Z crystal left. And then like he doesn't really know how to activate it because like I don't think he should build this ring because like I don't think he would ever think of a Z ring. So I think like he would, unless he keeps it as a necklace, but I doubt that happening as well. So I'm just gonna say that yeah, the Z ring is embedded in there too, and then he eventually figures out how it works. Like he basically gets like flashes or something. I don't know, and that makes him be able to see this stuff. And also like for the like max moves, because obviously you have like G max steel surge, G max meltdown, and max steel spec. I'm not sure how that would do. Pardon me, I'm sorry, bedtime. But yeah, we'll figure that out later on. Anyway, so UA entrance exam. See, as well as training, Deku is like really like small. I'd say like he'd still be small. Yeah, I'd say that he'd still be small. Okay, like he's relatively small. See, for the test, I can really see him just like destroying the robots from the inside since they're basically made out of metal. He could basically just start eating them. You can also see him like using bullet punch, like spamming bullet punch the entire time, or making his arm into a glue-like substance and like swinging it using double iron bash and taking out robots left and right. And then for the zero pointer, I can see him like basically I think I'd say that he can Gigantamax at will, but like it's a phenomenon. So it's not like Mount Lady's work where she will like do it instantaneously and then if we do something like as a last result. But Deku only does that to get to its size, and then he uses a G-Max meltdown. So he basically like melts his hands into the ground, and then like melty spikes start going up and like crush the 0 pointer. obviously saving Uraraka in the process. Okay, so after that's done, we go into the first day of UA. Yeah, Quark apprehension test. Oh yeah, there's also like so for the ball through, I can see him using like throwing the ball into the air and then charging up a meteor mash and then like sending it up into the air. And I'd say that he got like double Bakugo score. Okay, so 1,400 something. Race for the 50-meter dash. Honestly, see him using automatize and then like automatize and shift gear and then pair that with spin out and gyro ball and then like he zooms down the track. Side to side, metal burst. But again, metal burst is like when he absorbs something and like so I could relatively see him like going side to side and then building up the force and then eventually like, using metal burst to go really fast. But overall, I'd say like he places in the top 5. Obviously, for things like the endurance test, I'd say he'd go first. Like, very durable, iron defense and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so after that, I'll skip to the USG. So then, like the villains start burning. And then obviously like Guri does this whole thing like we came to like sorry we weren't invited but we came to crash the party or something like that. Anyways, so yeah, so then when Bakugo and Kuroshima like they come in to attack but they go straight through Kirojiri. Deku like notices the metal bit on Kurogiri's arm. He like I can see him what could he use? I could see him like maybe using a flash cannon or an anchor shot to like a flash cannon and an anchor shot to like pierce Kurogiri's thing and then making him unable to whoop everyone away. So then with Kurogiri taken out of commission for some time, Ida can go back to UA to get the teachers and then Taki starts dealing with the Nomi and all the villains. Honestly, like when the Nomi tries to hit him, he uses background noise. He uses Iron Defense and King's Shield. And, like, takes those attacks, and then I can see him using Doom Desire. Wait. Yeah, I can see him using Doom Desire. Yeah, he used Doom Desire, tricking Sugar Arcane to thinking that he basically was just trying to do that to intimidate him. And then I could see him going like blow for blow using Bullet Punch with the Nomi. And then seconds later, like I could see All Might busting through the door. And then like he starts engaging with the Nomi. But then as the Nomi is about to hit like a devastating blow on him or like hit him in his injury, Doom Desire takes effect. And then like, that hits the Nomi, allowing All Might to hit the final blow. Yeah. So then after that happens, we get obviously like the cleanup and then UA Sports Festival. UA Sports Festival, I could honestly see him like breaking through the ice with relatively ease because while in Pokemon, ice is weak to steel. Why? I think it is. Yeah, it probably is. If I'm wrong, I'm confusing that with rock and steel. But anyways, say like he breaks through Todoroki's ice with relative ease, and then like I could see him using Automatize and Behemoth Bash to just like continuously bashing the robots together, and then like going through. And then honestly, I'd say you get first place. And then honestly, Cavalry battle happens. I've skipped that by everyone who passes in the original. For Doom Desire, let's see. Wait, no, not that. So Deku faces in the one-on-one tournament. I can see, because like there's no way that Deku doesn't respond back. And there's nothing like any like steel type moves that would stop him from doing that. But then I could see him at the last second activating Doom Desire, and just before he walks off the ring, Doom Desire takes effect, and like decimates this man Shinzo. So then Deku versus Todoroki. I could see him trying to get him to use his power, and I'd see that Deku would tank it, even if Steel is relatively always weak to fire. But like at the joint training exercise with Tetsu was able to like tank a flash fire fist. Like, I can't remember if he tanked it or was damaged by it, but he was able to withstand it. Okay, so I count that as tank that attack. Okay, so I can see him going across using corkscrew crash. So like performing the dance to it, the ritual to it. He's corkscrew crash and then like crash into Todoroki's fist, or that flames that he made, and then like win. Deku versus Bakugo. I'm just gonna skip this because like because Bakugo's explosions wouldn't really be doing anything. I mean, he could just iron defense and king shields and like take him out with like a smart strike, hitting Bakugo somewhere where he wouldn't expect. So like, and it never misses, so Bakugo can't dodge this attack. Yeah, and for the internships, like, I could have sworn that MHE had like Steel Hero, but I don't remember, but I think I guess that. And then for with Stain, I mean, I could see either dying, like maybe, but like because there was no one there to like call for backup. But I don't really want either to die. Like, I like either. I mean, he even had that cool moment with against the murder guy during the training exercise, and that's cool. So yeah, I don't think I want either to die. So yeah, I'd say that either survives, but like barely. Like, he won't be taken out of commission, but he'll be injured, and it'll take like some time for him to recover. So then after that, I just want like they had the and the cleanup. I also never mentioned, but I'd say that Shigaraki and Kyodori managed to get away. So as they managed to get away, so then we got the final exams. Instead of I was gonna say Cementos, but like, no, I'd say that he goes up against All Might, and then he continuously like tanks. Wait, my guys are seeing this, but I'm gonna have to like I don't mind that as well. Sorry. Anyways, so he puts so he starts tanking All Might's attacks really. And honestly, I could see him like just eating the weights, which gives him more power, and then like tanking all these attacks from All Might. I could see him just releasing, like, alongside Bakugo, using a huge explosion and using Metal Burst and like sending All Might like flying away, like essentially nearly knocking them out, giving them enough time to escape. Yeah, okay, so for his training camp, and we're just gonna skip like all the Earth Beasts and stuff, but I could see Deku for Deku's training. I could see him like increasing his defenses even more, like, and for certain moves that like take a lot of his power. Like, for example, things like Sunsteel Strike or Doom Desire and Magnet Bomb, Gigaton Hammer, Behemoth Bash, Behemoth Blade, Double Iron Bash. Yeah, he continuously uses them so that he gets tired, like he gets tired less when he uses them. And for things like steel beam, the recharge, he ups that. Things for anchor shot, I was gonna say increase the accuracy, but like it's 100, so not really. But for anchor shot, anchor shot is really useful because the person cannot escape. Okay, so they can't escape, and that's really useful. So then after that, the Vanguard action is good. I can see him protecting Koto, and then like facing off against Overhaul, I can see him meeting Muscular, one of Muscular's strongest punches with Behemoth Bash and taking him down. Now obviously against Bakugo, no, not against Bakugo, but like when they try to come and kidnap him, I'm not sure if they'll kidnap him, but I'll say they'll kidnap him. Yeah. Sorry. So then after they kidnap Bakugo, like they go to try and save him, of course, and then obviously you get the final fight between All Might and All For One. Oh wait, All Might and All For One. So like the final battle would happen, but I'm not sure if I want this to take a different role, because I'm sure, as if you've watched some of my previous videos, I am not caught up to MHA. I'm currently on season 5 and I haven't finished that. And I'm also like kinda busy, so I don't have all the time in the world to watch all of that. And I'm kinda stuck on decisions, because I want to make it more interesting where I don't just have Deku come in and defeat or kill All For One, because that kind of just gets boring and repetitive. Right. I can see this working. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I've got the perfect thing, and I thought it up in my mind, and it's like this made up arc that I made. Okay, so obviously, so Deku jumps in while saving Bakugo, and like them, like All Might, Bakugo, and Deku, like they're all facing off against All For One. All For One realizing that he about to get jumped and he might not win this, like retreats. Obviously, okay, so he retreats with like all this people. But All Might's weakened form has been revealed to the world, but he's saying that he's not gonna retire his number. Okay, so then after this would be the I'm gonna skip provisional licenses and get straight to the Overhaul arc. Okay, because they get to the Overhaul arc and I can see Deku like rescuing Amy on the spot there. Because like reforming, like disintegrating Deku, he has regenerative properties. So like I can see a fight ensuing. And honestly, like even if Mirai tried to stop him, also I'd say that Mirai should get one for all. And then he beats him. Because like I don't think Deku would be pulling any punches. Because like obviously like he'd become like a wall for Eri, so that she doesn't have to get like constantly tortured by a wall anymore. So I see her getting saved by Deku, and Deku like regenerating from Overhaul's attacks and like finishing him off, and then Overhaul gets thrown in jail. Anyways, so then after this, joint training exercise goes the same. Then there's obviously like work studies in the devil, but you see they get invited. The Eye Island events happens a little bit later. And with the Eye Island event happening, they get invited to it, and then this is where the final battle with All For One takes place. You see, they got caught in, and I'm gonna say that David, he doesn't really like there's no point in trying to get All Might to back to himself, because they've already accepted the fact that All Might is gonna retire soon. Okay, so after this, like the island like being taken over still happens, but instead of it just being Wolfram and us buddies, it's actually gonna be Wolfram, All For One, and 9. Because you see, with this happening, 9 is he's looking for a cell activation quirk so that he doesn't destroy his body, and he didn't go after with I can't remember his name for the life of me, but that boy and his girl, I can't remember what their names was, but the boy and the girl from Heroes Rising, yeah, he doesn't go after them. But instead he strikes up a deal with All For One, since All For One isn't taken down in this timeline, and he gets a cell regenerating quirk for him. And then with the Wolfram and All For One and 9, they take over the island. I can't exactly remember what 9's goals were. So, I don't know, world domination or something. For life of me, or just be a villain for the sake of being a villain. Anyways, so yeah, so then the final battle against ensues. So then, obviously, since All Might isn't like down yet, yeah. Also, I can see them like stealing the quirk enhancement thing, because like even though it was gonna be destroyed, I can see them stealing it. And Wolfram using it on himself, then All For One with all of his quirks, and then obviously 9. Wait, no, never mind. Scratch something. Not scratch this, but scratch something. Miro doesn't help him for. Instead, Bakugo gets it. I think Bakugo should get it. And it'll be a really nice thing. Okay, so when the fight goes against them, so there's obviously like 9's quirks. Wolfram's metal manipulation, which I can see Deku like just eating the attacks or something like that, or tanking them. And then Bakugo doing explosion after explosion. And I can see them like Wolfram. Okay, so I can see Wolfram sending out metal spikes at him, and obviously, or he could create 9's Hydra, which is one of his quirks. So essentially, if you've seen the Heroes Rising review, you'll know that one of 9's quirks was Hydra, and it allowed him to sprout like blue-like tentacles from his back. Yeah, I don't know if they were sentient or not, but like yeah, he sprouts them from his back, and he starts like attacking them. Obviously, Deku being a tank, he tanks this, but like Bakugo and All Might not so much. I think Bakugo would have been told about the story of All For One and One For All, yeah, because All Might was seen as a potential successor, but he hasn't said anything yet. And then, as they're being trapped and Deku's trying to pry them open, All Might decides to pass on his quirk to Bakugo, essentially having Bakugo, and I can see Wolfram for the final attack. I could see 9, All For One, and Wolfram launching the final attacks. So I could see the Hydra and all the weather manipulations. So there's gonna be like lightning everywhere. It's raining. Like honestly, like it's pure utter chaos. Hurricanes are being thrown left and right, and then Deku's tanking the attacks. Bakugo's meeting metal with explosion, and All Might smashing any attacks that All For One can try and throw at him. So then here comes the final attack. So 9 then makes gets his Hydra so big, and then they come crashing down, because they've gone like really high up into the sky really fast. They come crashing down, and 9 begins to create like a hurricane. So in like I think Vegeta's like final flash pose, he starts charging up a hurricane with lightning swirling inside of it, and then he launches it down to them. And then All For One with his quirks, I don't know what quirk level it is, but I can see him charging up a huge air cannon. A huge air cannon and with some energy beams. Or maybe that dark ball that he, one of the quirks that he has. And like he launches it down as well. And then, Wolfram, he sends out like a huge metal, like titanic block. And then like it all comes crashing down. Okay, so I can see Deku, like he's like continuously used automatize, hero, and all this stuff, and he combines one of his moves. Okay, so he starts charging up his strongest move, a searing sunray smash. Okay, he starts charging that up, right, and he twists the Z crystal, and then he starts performing the base, clanging his fists together. And then, like, in a fit of like heat and energy and sea power, he rushes forward, and then like with all of his attacks, okay, anchor shot and trying to tie the villains down, trying to hold the Hydras together. Then with All Might and Bakugo, they go in for like one final smash. So obviously Bakugo would be looking like he did in like the Heroes Rising movie, like with them glowing eyes and that like huge powered explosions. He goes for a huge powered explosion, breaking the metal blocks. All Might smashes the air cannon and air wall, and Deku, he straight up tanks the Hurricane and Hydras and like hits mine. All Might like crushes All For One's head for real this time. Okay, like All For One's face is mangled, and then Wolfram Bakugo charges up this huge explosion, destroying the metal block and hitting Wolfram in the face. Okay, and all three of that energies back combined, creating this huge explosion that could be felt across the entire island. Boom! Then everything comes to a stop. Then you can see all the villains like dropping down to the floor, bro. Like, had them in their Yamcha place, laid out, 3 separate bodies on the ground, and you can see All Might in his small Might form coughing up blood and just standing there and going like, "You two, you're next." And then yeah. Now obviously there's nothing else to go on. I mean, nothing else really. And yeah, so I think, and thank you guys for listening, and it's your boy Zanyo Mega X signing out.